Implicit bias shapes how we respond to people we see as outside our familiar group, often without our awareness. Over time, we absorb assumptions about others based on traits such as race, ethnicity, age, or sexual orientation. These assumptions can show up as microaggressions, subtle comments or actions that communicate bias toward marginalized groups. Some sound harmless on the surface but still cause harm, such as telling a gay man, "You don't act gay," or saying to a trans man, "I never would have guessed." Comments like these can invalidate people, diminish dignity, and signal disrespect. A microaggression is a subtle comment, question, assumption, or action that expresses bias toward a person or group. Microaggressions often sound small or casual, and they still send harmful messages about who belongs, who is valued, or who is seen as less capable. Over time, repeated microaggressions can damage trust, safety, and inclusion at work.
People in marginalized communities experience microaggressions on a daily basis. Hearing negative messages over and over again begins to have a psychological impact on those who hear them. Microaggressions are like 1,000 paper cuts. They hurt. They accumulate.
This scenario is a small department meeting between Maya, Tom, and their manager.
I think we could speed this up by using one shared tracker for status updates instead of separate email threads.
Okay, Maya, let's move on to the next item. Tom, what are your thoughts?
What if we use one shared tracker for status updates so everyone can see progress in one place?
Great suggestion, Tom.
Hey, that's the same idea I just shared.
This is a form of invalidation and bias in recognition. Maya's idea is overlooked until a male coworker repeats it and receives credit. This is often discussed as a gender-based microaggression because a woman's contribution is minimized, ignored, or treated as less credible. Microaggressions can show up in words and actions. For example, a manager scheduled a daytime potluck to celebrate employee cultures during Ramadan, when many Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. Another company asked only women to serve on the office party planning committee. Both examples rely on assumptions about identity and send limiting messages about who belongs where. People from marginalized racial and ethnic groups are often made to feel unwelcome or devalued in their own communities and workplaces. That kind of othering can wear people down over time. Repeated negative messages can cause people to question their worth, abilities, and place in the world. The impact of harmful stereotypes can be deeply personal and lasting. Some companies still allow behavior that has no place in a professional workplace. Examples include wearing sombreros as costumes for Cinco de Mayo or using blackface at a party. A person's culture, identity, or skin color is never a costume. Actions like these dismiss history, reduce people to stereotypes, and communicate disrespect. Considering that microaggressions are often subtle ways to totally disregard others' history and heritage, many people don't consider how using another's culture or heritage could be perceived as disrespectful. We all have implicit biases, including those in marginalized communities. We must learn to recognize how those biases affect our interactions, decisions, and responses. We can reduce our biases by recognizing that we have them and working to change some of our attitudes. If we're aware that we have negative biases towards certain groups, we can interact with members of that group to understand their values and beliefs. Make an effort to see members of stereotype groups as individuals. Interacting with people different from ourselves can change, or at least challenge, biases. You may find that you have more in common with them than you think.